Hello students and all the viewers. I am Dr. Santosh Patil, professor in Department of General Surgery and Minimally Invasive Surgery. I'll be dealing with needles and suture materials. Needles and suture materials are very important to a surgeon because a surgeon decides which suture material to be used for what type of surgery. In this class, I'll be dealing with different types of needles that are used and different types of suture materials in different conditions that a surgeon uses them. Needles I'll be dealing with now. Needles are classified according to the type of the eye, the body, and that is also the shaft of the needle, and the point, that is the tip of the needle. The eye is designed to cause minimal trauma to the tissues. Needle eyes may be a conventional one, a closed or a Frenched eye needle, or a eyeless needle, also called an atraumatic needle, or what we call as a technique called as swaging technique, how a needle and the suture material is prepared. The French eyed are the least traumatic of the eyed needles. Thread is pulled through the minute spring in the head which locks it into the eye. Atraumatic needles cause the least tissue trauma. These are manufactured with the suture material already inserted, the technique called as swaging technique. The other needles, which are controlled released needles that are produced, release the thread from the hand if it is pulled sharply. The needle's body vary depending upon the cross sections of the needle. Once we take a needle and we take a cross section of that needle, depending upon the shape what we get, that we term it as a triangular needle, also called as a cutting type of needle, or a curved or a oval shape of needle. The cutting edged needles, that the tip of the triangle face upwards. In reverse cutting needles, the tip of the triangle is at the bottom. The main important point is, if we are selecting for closure of the bowel or muscular tissues, it is preferably to go for a oval shape or a round body needle. If a hard tissue is to be selected for suturing, for example approximation of the skin, for example tendons, it is better to go for a reverse cutting type of a needle which needs thrusting of the suture material through the hard structures. Depending upon their curvatures, 1/4 of the circle, the skin, eye or tendon sutures are better preferable for this suture type material, this type of needle. Half circle is you preferably use for muscle and fascia sutures. 3/8 of the circle are preferably for the skin, fascia or the gastrointestinal sutures. 5/8 circles of the needles are used for the muscle or the urogenital surgeries. Suture materials. The suture materials are very important because depending upon the different types of suture material, they are classified into absorbable, non-absorbable, naturally occurring suture materials and the synthetic one suture materials. So these suture materials are very important because they are used to approximate the wound edges, or it can be used to bring the two bowel edges for the anastomosis, or it can be used to ligate a bleeding vessel as well. There are certain characteristics that a suture material should have to call it as an ideal suture. Important physical properties are the caliber, the strength, the tensile strength of any suture material is very important, because if you are using a tensile strength of a suture material less but using it for it to be staying in the body for longer time, for example if you are planning for anastomosis, the tensile strength of a suture material should be good enough and the holding capacity or staying in the body should be long enough. If it doesn't, for example if we are using a catgut for bowel anastomosis, there are high chances it may give up in 6 to 7 days, where the suture material may not be where the anastomosis may not have been taken, so chances of leakage are very high. So selection of suture materials is very important, and to know the tensile strength and the caliber of the suture material, a surgeon should always know these characteristics. The elasticity, the capillarity and the structure. The structure is very important, whether it is a monofilament or a multifilament. This one structure is very important to know whether the suture material can get infected or not. Preferably, if there is an infected tissue, if you're planning for operation, preferably go for a monofilament suture. Multifilament sutures are better to avoid it because they have a grooves for which there will be a nidus of which will be a nidus for the bacteria for growth, and there are high chances the suture may give away over time. And absorbent capacity and the sterility, all these things are the physical properties. There are some application properties, that is the flexibility of the tissues and slipping in the tissues, the gliding of the tissues. As I discussed, there is a round body suture material and there are transverse cutting needle, and if the suture material is a swaged one, usually passes well very smoothly. If it is through a eyed needle, the tissue trauma is very high. Knotting property of the suture material is very important, and knot security. Once you put a knot, there should not be any slippage. For example, Prolene is one suture material which is a non-absorbable suture material, also called as polypropylene. It has got a very good memory. The memory of a suture is one surgeon should know. Memory is, once you remove from a pack of a suture pack, the suture material tries to go back to its property, that is the condition how it was in the packet. So it starts coiling immediately. That characteristic property is seen with Prolene or polypropylene. So if it has a good memory, preferably go for a extra knotting. That's why Prolene requires 7 to 8 knots. If not, there are high chances it may slowly have a good memory and the knot may get loose and you may have loss of knot property and patient may have problem with the surgery. It happens with inguinal hernias where the mesh may get usually loosened if it is not fixed with 6 to 7 knots. Then there are certain biological properties like tolerance of the tissues and tissue reaction. Sutures classified according to absorbability, like absorbable sutures and non-absorbable sutures, according to the original of the material, whether it is a naturally occurring suture material or it has to be, is it from a synthetically prepared suture material, and depending upon the structure, whether it is a monofilament or a multifilament. Multifilament can be again a braided one or a twisted one. So I'll be dealing with all the suture material individually with few examples and which are to be used, which are not to be used in which particular surgeries. So I'll be just highlighting few things so it will be easy for the students to have a basic understanding of these suture materials. Once they go into their internship, it is very easy for them to understand and use this suture material and on their clinical for their experience. So I'll be starting with absorbable sutures. These absorbable sutures are broken down in the body and eventually absorbed by digestion by lysosomal enzymes and of WBC or by hydrolysis. So whenever an absorbable suture material is used, it is totally dissolved. The suture material gets absorbed in the body by the process of hydrolysis. So absorbable suture materials are of two types, that is naturally occurring and the synthetic one. The natural materials are the catgut is the best example for the absorbable suture material, and others are collagen. The synthetic materials are polyglycolic acid, polygalactin and polydioxone. So I'll be talking about the surgical gut, that is a naturally occurring suture material. It is made up of from the collagen processed from the submucosal layer of the bovine or the ovine intestine. It may be a monofilament or a multifilament form. It absorbed relatively quickly. So the moment it is used in the body, it is used for the surgeries where usually absorption period is very short. The best example being the circumcisions. Tensile strength remains unchanged for 7 to 10 days and absorbed in 70 days. The treatment with chromium salt of the same catgut prolongs the absorption time. That is, it is retained for 10 to 14 days and maximum absorption takes 90 days, 20 days more to that of a simple or what we call as a plain catgut. Uses, it is used for ligation of the superficial blood vessels, suturing of the mucous membrane and the subcutaneous tissue. So blood vessels is, if you are, for example, if you are planning for a thyroidectomy, anterior jugular veins are encountered, if there are injured by mistake, what happens, if it bleeds, these are the best suture material to use for the ligation of the superficial vessels. And the suturing of the mucous membrane, oral cavities, yes, traumatic or injury of the oral cavity are the best for suturing again. Then coming to the absorbable sutures, synthetic materials. These synthetic materials are extremely inert and have a great tensile strength. They are used to suture and ligate in nearly all tissues. They are rigid and slippery, and they therefore need extra knots up to 6 half hitches to obtain a secure ligature. The disadvantage is that they tend to drag through the tissues, means they drag through the tissue with mild trauma. The examples being polyglycolic acid or Daxon is a braided suture made of polyglycolic acid and coated with the polycaprolate. Excellent tensile strength and excellent knot security. It is unchanged for about 3 weeks in the body and completely absorbed in 60 to 90 days. Polyglactin, the best company or brand name is a Vicryl, which is used is a braided suture material manufactured from polyglactin 910 and coated with polyglactin 370 copolymer. The tensile strength is approximately 65% on day 14. Absorption is minimal up to 40 days. It is completely absorbed after 56 to 70 days. It is used to ligate or suture tissues, except where approximation under stress is needed. These are the few exceptions where it should not be used. So any suture material, it can be a fascia, it can be external oblique aponeurosis, it can be used to close. Few people use Prolene also, but Vicryl has got better tensile strength. The bowel anastomosis all are better tolerated with the polyglactin. The third absorbable, that is synthetic suture material, is polydiaxone. It is PDS2, is made up of poly-p-dioxone. It's a monofilament thread. Tensile strength is on day 14 is 70%. Absorption is minimal up to 90 days but complete within 6 months. It is applied in soft tissue, pediatric and the plastic and gastrointestinal surgeries. So now I'll be coming on non-absorbable suture materials. These sutures effectively resist enzymatic digestion, means they stay in the body for longer duration. They may be a monofilament or multifilament, may be coated or uncoated threads. Used in tissues that heal more slowly, the fascias preferably, and hernias can be best suture, approximated with the posterior valve defect of the hernia, are best approximated with this type of non-absorbable suture material, which needs good approximation and that has to stay for longer duration, and if a very secure tightening. So naturally occurring non-absorbable suture materials are the silk, linen and stainless steel, and the synthetic one are the polyesters, the polyamide nylon or polypropylene or the Prolene. I'll be talking few points about the silk. Silk is a braided thread made up of protein fibers spun by the silkworm. It is strong and easy to handle, causes significant tissue reaction, means better to avoid whenever there is a focus of infection, because it is a source for bacterial overgrowth. Tensile strength is preserved for more than 1 year, absorbed by proteolysis within 2 years. Then the second one is the linen, which is a twisted thread, weaker than silk. It is usually in a coiled form, gets straightened when wet or dipped into the saline solution. The tensile strength is 50% up to 6 months or 30 to 40% over 2 years. Can also be applied in most tissues, sized from thick to thin as follows, like number 25 is 0.4 millimeter up to 120 is the number size, where up to 0.083 millimeter is the size that can be taken. Then other naturally occurring non-absorbable are the stainless steel. It has almost no tissue reaction. It's a monofilament and in a twisted forms available. Rarely used as it is difficult to handle. One place where it is commonly used is a thoracotomy for the approximation of the manubrium sterni, and it may break up and it can easily cut the tissue. It is used for tendon and bone repair, nerve and retention sutures and skin closure. It is numbered according to Brown and shape. Then there are non-absorbable suture material that are synthetically prepared. These are polyesters. Polyesters are a monofilament but are mostly braided. Uncoated, also called as Dacron, or a coated one with Teflon. It is the strongest suture apart from surgical steel. Used in wide variety of tissues, primarily in cardiovascular surgeries. Then there is a polyamide, which is a monofilament, ethylene also called as, which is used for the skin approximation. It's a braided one. Coated form are available as Surgilon, and it is used in all tissues like general closure or the even for microsurgeries. The tensile strength for 1 year is 80%, and for 2 years is about 70%, and for 11 years about 66%. Causes only a minimal inflammatory response. The last suture material in non-absorbable suture material is polypropylene, also called as the Prolene. It's a monofilament suture material. It does not adhere to the tissues, causes minimal tissue reaction. It has got high tensile strength, about 100% for 2 years. So holds the knot better than most of the synthetic materials. It is used for best for repair of the hernia surgery, for approximation of the posterior wall defect. It is used to fix the mesh in hernia surgery. It is used in other general cardiovascular and other plastic surgery. Most of the plastic surgeon, for approximation of the tissues, usually they do use the Prolene. So after dealing with the needles and the suture materials, I'll be highlighting one or two points regarding the thickness of the suture material for the students or the interns who will be interested in knowing how the suture material is selected and how the thickness is assessed. According to the European Pharmacopoeia, it is given in metric units 1:10 millimeter. The diameter of threads can lie in the interval of 0.001 to 0.9 millimeter. The higher the size of the number, the thicker the thread. More zeros in the number, smaller the size. Absorbable sutures, that is, size number 1 means a thread 0.1 millimeter in diameter. This is about 60 thread. Non-absorbable or synthetic thread, this corresponds to size 50. This is a small chart that is going to just describe. There is a USP, that is a European Pharmacopoeia classification also included in this, where you can see the absorbable suture material and the non-absorbable suture material. The sizes have been mentioned and the diameter also varies, and the metric size. If you are planning for a number 1 suture material you can see in non-absorbable it becomes a 50, and in absorbable it becomes a 60 suture material. So that is how a suture material is selected. So this is a brief topic for easy understanding of the needles and the suture material. What are the indications of suture materials for the basic beginners, like the exam going students who can be just who will be just entering to their internship, or the interns who need better exposure of these suture materials. Thank you very much.